Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time of watching a video of mine, thank you for stopping by. So today's video is going to be kind of a part 2 to my first financial literacy video. That one had to do with how to save right. Now, whilst I was editing the video, I realized that to get to financial freedom, it's not just how you save, it's also how you spend. So I thought I'd do a separate video tackling how to spend right. Now, if you haven't watched the first video, then I'm going to leave a link up here. Or is it up here? I'm not sure. And then there's going to be a link in the comment section, there's going to be a link in the description box, and then there's going to be a link at the end of the video as well. So you can watch that one after this one, or go watch that one when you're done. You come and watch this one. So first things first, as usual, this is not in order. I wrote them as the ideas came to mind. So track your expenses. So this is also very key. It's very important for you to track your expenses. Now for me, I have 3 methods that I practice. I have the notepad method, the app method, and then the cash method. So with the notepad method, it's more of something that I was doing more of before I actually got into the whole app thing. So what I do is I write. So for me, I use Keep Notes. It's a Google app. I'm sure you can find other notepads. If you're using whatever device, you probably have some already on the phone, or you can download from your app store or whatever. So I write the amount that I have, and then as the weeks, I normally do it weekly, as the week goes by, I kind of deduct. So let's say I write as at 4th April, maybe I write 1,000 cedis. Then at the end of the week, which is like 11th, I write maybe 950, and then it kind of goes on and on and on. And I always attach dates to what I'm writing, so then I know, I have a fair idea of how much I spent this week and all of that. Now, to actually assist me with the whole notepad method, the cash method. Now the cash method, what I do is, so at the beginning of the week, so normally Sundays I set up for the week. So Sunday I put like 100 cedis in my purse, and then by the end of the week I go back to my purse to check what is left. So let's say it's left with 20 cedis. Then I know that this week I spent 80 cedis. Sometimes during the week I need to top up because I made a purchase that was kind of significant. So maybe within the week I added 20 cedis, or I added 50 cedis, and then I go back at the end of the week to check, and I realize that I'm left with 30 cedis. So now let's say I added 50 cedis and it's now left with 30 cedis. So then I know that within the week I spent 120. So then I go to the notepad. It could be, you could actually have like a paper back kind of notepad, or it could be on your phone as well, and then you just go and do the subtraction and then write what you currently have. So it's like a very simple should I say cash account, or kind of thing that you're doing with your notepad. And then, except you don't write what you spend, you just, so today is 1,000, next week is 950. So I mean, you know that within this period you spent 50 cedis. For the app method, I think I started using the app just this year. I use One Money app. You can, I'm sure you can definitely find other financial apps on the App Store, Google Play Store, whatever. So for me, I'm using the free version, not the premium version, simply because I don't really see the aspects of the premium version that I really need, but if I do, I'm going to get it. So with this one, it has sections. It gives you where you can your income and your expenses. So it also has debt, mortgage. You can, you know, the folder that you open, it can be debt, it can be mortgage, it can be savings, it can be loans. You can choose that. By the end of the day, there are 2 major segments, like your income and then your kind of like your expenses. Or you can do like cash and bank, or it's really different. It's just up to you. So for transactions during the day, they have segments. They have the communication, they have shopping, they have groceries, they have restaurants, they have gifts, they have transport. You can add some, which comes with the premium version. For me, the ones they provide are enough. So you just, so the moment I you know, maybe I'm going to work, I enter the Chosky, I pay. I don't do it before, because I mean, you could get Lyft, you could get someone to pay for you or anything. So when I from my house to my office is like 40 to 50 pesos. So when I do that, then I just subtract from, I just put that in the transport, 40 to 50 pesos. If I buy credit, I put that into communication. If I buy a snack or food, I do that restaurant. If I buy something that I'm bringing home, groceries. If I buy something for myself, shopping, I just do that. So at the end of the day, you know what you spent in the day, so it kind of breaks it down. Unlike the notepad method, which is kind of very broad and general, with the app method, you know exactly what you spent on what, when, how, all of that. So that's what I've been doing, and it's actually really helps. Because it's going to be really important for the next point that I'm going to raise. Analyze your highest expenditure item. So when you go into the app, at least with the app, you can kind of really see how much you spent on what. So sometimes at the end of the week, I'm like, I really spent a lot. So I go back to check and I realize that, oh, I bought some shoes or some bag or some clothes. So my shopping transaction for that week was really high. And for me, I don't think my highest expenditure item should be shopping. It should be communication, because the kind of work that I do, a lot of internet and all of that, so it should be communication and not shopping. But then at the end of the day, it's not always that way. It's once in a while. You do have to spoil yourself at the end of the day. So you just have that in mind. But then if you realize that for the longest period of time, I'm always buying things, and sometimes you don't even use this thing, sometimes you don't even need them, you have to analyze that item. Is this thing that I'm spending so much money on, is it necessary? Is it important? If you're the breadwinner of your family and your highest expenditure item is groceries, fair enough, it's understandable. But then if it's not and it's completely something else, let's say the kind of job you're doing has nothing to do with you going up and down, but then some way, somehow your transport or your fuel is just so high, then definitely you need to analyze that and find means and ways to reduce that expenditure, like how much you spend on that item. So that's the second point. Analyze your highest expenditure item. Your highest expenditure item should be related to your income. What you are being paid for should be what you should spend more on, if you understand. If you're a model and you're spending lots of oil, makeup artist, and you're spending a lot of money on makeup, clothes, fine. But if you're just a regular person, why are you buying so many clothes? Why? Third point, have a budget to spend. Probably this should have been the first point, but in the previous video I did mention that you should have an amount of your income that you save. So it could be half, it could be 1/3, it could be 2/3. So the same way, you have to have a budget to spend. Now this one isn't like, fine, so let's say for example I'm saving 50% of my income, because you save before you spend, don't forget. So I'm saving 50% of my income, which means I'm spending 50% of my income. But then with that 50%, I need a breakdown budget. So for me, I know that, let's say in a month, let's say I spend 200 or 250 cedis on transport, I spend blah 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 on communication, I spend, like, I have an idea. But then you shouldn't be like, okay, I am able to save 50% of my income, so then I'm spending the other 50%. So it doesn't matter what I spend it on, as long as I spend it. Now what's going to happen is, at the end of the day, there are going to be times when you have to actually eat into your savings, because you are just spending as you go. Today, I mean, at the end of, let's say, okay, you are getting 1,000 cedis, you are saving 500, so you are spending 500. So that 500, you are just going. Today you buy this, tomorrow you buy this, tomorrow you are just like spending anyhow. There's going to, maybe like the last week of the month, you're going to realize that you actually need extra money for that impromptu work expenditure. Let's say the last week of the month, I have like 3 conferences to go to, and let's say I decide not to use Trusky, because where the Trusky is going to drop me and the location is kind of far, I don't walk, so I'd rather pick Uber. Now I didn't foresee this coming. Maybe it was an impromptu, unplanned kind of conference that I had to attend, but at the end of the day, I have spent majority of my of the 50% of my income. So now this Uber thing, I have to now go and eat into my savings or eat into the income for the next month. You get? So, and also it won't help you save what you could save, because at the end of the day, yes, you are saving 50% of your income, but what if you actually budget and strategize, you realize that you could actually save 60% of your income on a regular and not 50%. So it's very, very important to actually have a budget, a breakdown budget of what you spend on a regular. And then this point is actually related to this one, so let me just say it. Have sort of a grace period or a treat yourself item. So you should actually include that into your budget. So let's say you have 500 cedis. 100 cedis is for transport, 100 cedis is for communication, 100 cedis is for food. Then you're left with 200 cedis. What you're going to do is have 100 cedis as a sort of treat yourself expense. So even if that month you don't see anything you like, or you end up not buying anything, you carry forward. So maybe at the end of 6 months, you've piled up that 100 cedis for like 6 months. That's 600 cedis. That 600 cedis, you could get something really, really cool or really, really nice. So even though we are saving to actually get something for ourselves or to buy something and everything, try and include that treat yourself figure in your budget, because a lot of us, like, if I have that 100 cedis in my budget, I'm going to be really reluctant to spend it on something unnecessary. So I'm going to really be strict with my budget, so I'm able to keep that 100 cedis and actually use it to buy something that I want or something that is nice, as a thank you for actually sticking to my budget. So your budget shouldn't only have your needs, but it should also include a want. Of course, it doesn't mean that budget 300 cedis to buy something for yourself and then you are kind of squeezing in with your necessities, because at the end of the day, you are going to eat into either your savings or what you actually kept for something you like. Point number 5, bargains. Now, this isn't the matter of I'm rich, I can afford, I don't want people to laugh at me, blah blah blah. This we are not doing that here, okay? I don't care about that. I'm thinking of that financial freedom when I'm old enough and I just want to be traveling the world and be relaxing and chilling, and also leaving something for my family. And yeah, we are not here thinking about people that is going to laugh at us, or no. Bargains. Now, you might have budgeted, let's say, 1,000 cedis to buy a phone, but then what if you could actually get that phone for 900 or even 950? That 50 cedis you can use to buy a phone case and, let's say, a screen protector, and even have change for transport to and fro from where you actually bought the item, or if you even bought it online, you could even pay for the delivery fee. So bargains are like so important. The fact that you've already saved towards that amount, or the fact that the amount or the cost of the item is within your budget, doesn't mean that you should just pay for it that way. Allow for a little budget. If it's just 10 cedis, 5 cedis, trust me, it goes a long way. Now, my sister is someone who loves a bargain, and I formally, like, when we are buying something and she's like, sometimes it's just 2 cedis, and I'm like, really? But then when I actually started having more control of my own finances and my income, I got to understand the difference that 1 cedi or 2 cedi will make. Trust me, it makes you feel good. You end up having extra money to spend on something else, you get? So a bargain is so important. It feels good. Trust me, if you are someone who cares about what people think and say, you might not really take this serious, but trust me, a bargain goes a long way in helping you out. If you're going to get a susu box and put in the extra money you save when you actually make a bargain, you will see the amount of money you saved. Trust me. So that's pretty much it. I'm just going to mention all the points that I raised. So track your expenses. You can do the notepad, you can get an app on your phone, you can do the cash method, whichever which way. Analyze your highest expenditure item and know if you have to reduce it or if it's understandable. Have a budget to spend, so a breakdown budget of all that you need to spend on, of course including something that you want to spend on, which is have a treat yourself item or a treat yourself amount. And then last point, bargains. Ensure you save some of what you have to spend. As I said, the fact that you can spend it, you can afford it, doesn't mean you should actually spend that amount of money. So that's what I have to share when it comes to how to spend right. Financial literacy 102. As I said, I'm going to leave links to the part 1 or to the how to save right video all over, so definitely check it out. Now if you have anything to share, please do leave them in the comment section below. As usual, if you have any video ideas, because I'm feeling really productive of late, then do leave them in the comment section as well, or you can DM me on social media. The links will be in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.